Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. QB78 review time. This is the 177 caliber version. Got this from Canadian Tire yesterday. On sale for $159.99. Regular $235. So you save $75 in tax right now. A limited time only. It's not a regular sale like, that happens, once a week kind of deal. It's one of those limited time only offers, so God knows that it'll come back on sale again anytime soon, or maybe not at all. Who knows? So get yours while you can at that price. Now that's Canadian dollars at Canadian Tire. So if you're in Canada, that's where they're selling them. Anyway, so this is a non-PAL version, okay, in 177 cal. We've never been able to get these things before without having a PAL. And so now that Beeman's handling this gun, among other companies that are actually still doing it, but Beeman is one of the ones that are doing this gun now. And in both calibers, I'm going to get the 22 caliber version as soon as Airgun Source gets them back in stock and I have the money to do it. And he's got 4 different QBs, but I want the one that looks like this but in 22. But anyways, so I got a chance to shoot it today. I sighted it in, took a few rounds to do that of course, and I was roughly about 12 meters away, okay? Now, I didn't want to do a shooting video on this one because YouTube's messing with me. They keep giving me limited or no ads on all my gun testing videos, so let's hope they can leave this one alone. However, I sighted the sucker in with some Crossman Destroyer pellets, and I saved the target, and this is what I'm getting with just using open sights, okay? So I think that's pretty respectable once it got all sighted in. Can we say what bullseye? It's pretty much done for. So I'd say she's pretty darn accurate. It does use 2 bottles of CO2 gas. One goes in forward, the other one points out the nose, and the cap will pierce that one. The valve pierces the other one. You can safety decock this gun by just holding the trigger down and putting the bolt forward. So it's like a real bolt action type gun. So if you're not familiar with the QB, these are bolt action guns. So just like a real one, okay? Now you also do have a safety as well that just rotates. So it's on safe, take it off safe, pull the trigger, voila, okay? Not one hiccup at all with this gun. I did, by the way, oil this thing because it didn't really have much of anything on it. The finish jobs are never that great for bluing on any QB, no matter who's putting them out under whatever name. It's just the history of them for some reason. But if you give them some oil, it shines them up really nice and kind of evens out the color better. And and you should anyways. Why let your gun rust? Because it looks ugly when it's rusty. So anyways, if you notice that it's pretty dry, what I did was I took some 30 weight non-detergent motor oil and just went over the entire gun, including the stock as well. Now they've also countersunk the bolt now and nut that holds the action into the stock, which is kind of nice, keeps it out of your way. It's actually a lot more comfortable, especially if you want to try different holding styles. It's nicer now without that bolt hanging down. So that's actually quite cool. Does have a rubber buttstock too, beech or rubber butt plate. The stock is made out of beech wood. It's got a nice finish on it. I like it. It's kind of like, really nice. Kind of looks like an old timer. It's actually made after a Crossman, I guess a 160 or 167 it's a copy of. But anyways, now as far as speed goes, I'm kind of rough guess eyeballing between pellet squish and comparison actually against my Sig Sauer MCX. Now that gun puts out 435 feet per second, and there is no way it's knocking down my animal targets that I have. They're pretty heavy metal as it is, and it can't knock them down. This thing has no problem just flinging them right down. So I'd say we're pushing, mid to high 490s out of this thing is about what we're getting. Now I don't have a chronograph yet, but give me time. I will be purchasing a chronograph down the road when I can, and I'm going to do actual chrony testing at that point with all my guns because I'd like to know where they're all sitting at, okay? But anyways, so as far as bang for buck goes, man, you're not going to get a better deal, I don't think. I had the 22 caliber version once, and you get about 65 good hard-hitting shots, and then you start losing speed. I got well over 200 plus shots out of this, and I was getting bored, okay, because I'm like constantly, and I wasn't taking my time. I was like, you know, cock it, load it, boom, like this, cock, load, boom, not even giving the gas a chance. And I'm like, is this ever going to end? Am I going to run out of gas, you know? So well over 200 shots, and all of them had no problem except for about the last 20 gave me a hard time getting those animal targets knocked down. So I would say gas usage, amazingly well. And the funny thing is when you cock this gun, you can feel the pressure of that spring. And it's the same pressure as the 22. So I don't know what they've done with the valve side to alter the detonation timing. I'm definitely sure they've got a smaller transfer port in this thing, obviously, to reduce it for the speed. Okay, now I'm shooting 7.4 grain pellets through this thing too. Alright, so they're light, but they're not super light. They're a standard Crossman weight pellet. And, you know, but very, very super impressed with the amount of shots out of this thing. Now, if you're thinking hunting anything, I would probably suggest no. You might take out some starlings, but I don't think you're going to take out anything, you know, much bigger than that. You know, realistically, like I wouldn't try killing a gopher with this thing or a skunk. It's just never ever going to happen. There's just not enough power for that speed or energy output wise. Now I haven't tried to run any heavier pellets. I don't have any. But a heavier pellet, of course, slows the gun down more. And of course you're going to lose energy with that too at the same time. So unless you can get the speed up enough to run the heavier pellet, you actually lose energy. But that's the way it goes. So all in all, general plinking, you know, shooting at targets like paper targets, the metal targets. You can have a blast with this thing, clay targets, that sort of deal. We are going to do some tin can shooting down the road. I'll do some videos of shooting tin cans with this thing because it'll definitely easily, you know, annihilate tin cans all day long, right? So, but just a wonderful gun, really nice. There are many upgrades available for QBs. Just do a search through Google. There's a guy that, one or two at least, that make metal barrel bands, which eventually I'm going to upgrade to a metal barrel band in this. Now you can run high pressure air through this if you want to. You can bulk fill CO2 this thing in a couple of different manners. One of which is a bulk fill kit where you fill it up and then unscrew the bottle. There's another style where you just screw in, you know, a smaller bottle and just shoot it that way. Kind of looks stupid and ugly, but it works. Okay, but like I said, you can also run high pressure air through this as well. So then this way you're not affected by cold weather shooting with high pressure air. But with CO2, of course, you are going to be affected for speed with cold weather shooting. Now it was about 26 degrees out today and very, very low humidity, so it was like a perfect day for shooting. So that worked out really well for me. Now for those of you who like your star ratings, I'm definitely going to put this thing at an easy 4.5 out of 5. I think that is way more than fair. Okay, I'm going to put a scope on this thing too and try out a scope. It does have an 11mm dovetail. If all you got's a Picatinny kicking around, check out Banggood. They have an 11mm to Picatinny conversion kit that comes as a full bar, which will be a pain to load pellets, or you can get the split kit like I ordered in. So you've got one piece here and one piece here separate, and then you can use any Picatinny ringed scope. So no big deal, and so that'll be all right. But otherwise, you can get an 11mm dovetail scope if you want. You don't need much of a scope because it is CO2. You don't have to worry about the air rifle qualifications of springers with a scope. So you can get like a dirt cheap scope, throw it on here, line it up, and there's not enough vibration in this thing to throw off the scope, even a dirt cheap one. Put a red dot on it, put laser, go tactical all the way to the hilt if you wanted to, I suppose. You can put a bipod on this thing, which has got me thinking. You know, and bipods are nice because, you know, they help keep you steady and on target for your shooting. So bipods are a lot of fun. But I can't wait to get my hands on the 22 cal version. I kind of miss mine. And since I have a source to get them, it's like awesome, you know. But in the meantime, take a closer look at the 177 cal version at Canadian Tire while they're still on sale. There's other places I'm sure that sell both calibers. I don't know what the prices are like. I didn't even bother. I know that one of my primary new places to deal is Airgun Source. I've been buying some stuff off of him. I love the guy. He's great. Chatted with him on the phone. Really easy guy to talk to as well. And he carries a really wide selection of guns and targets and ammo and, you know, all that sort of stuff. I also have Lefebvre Sport and Hobby that I deal with in North Bay. And of course, Canadian Tire, I get my pellets, my Crossman pellets there, because I get like 1,250 rounds for like 26 bucks, so it's pretty cheap. And, you know, but like I said, 2 bottles of gas, really easy on the gas, tons of shots. It's going to keep you busy for a while, trust me. I had a lot of fun today. And like I said, I did get a little bit bored after going, man, is this thing going to run out of gas? You know, because I'm used to a QB and 22 cal. Would have run out of gas by now, you know. But this thing just kept on plinking away and doing fun. By the way, very quiet gun. Very quiet. Okay, so it's not like you're going to disrupt the neighbors. In fact, even my landlord came out from his balcony and he says, hey, you doing all that hunting? You can't even eat anything you kill. He says, and all you hear is this ting, ting, ting. I says, yeah, it's a quiet gun, isn't it? He says, yeah, all you hear is the ting, ting, ting. And that's all you really hear out of it. You know, there's really no real noise out of this thing. It's a very super quiet gun. So that's kind of nice too. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I didn't do any shooting for you, but at least you got an idea of, you know, what kind of grouping this thing gets with destroyer pellets, at least in my gun. Every gun is going to be different, even though the same model, what pellet it likes the best. But this thing does amazing with destroyers. Does a really decent job, too, with the pointed pellets without changing the sights. I am going to put a scope on this and dial it in and see how it does. Now, one other thing, too, before we go. I did put my bore sighter on this to compare of my sight lineup of me doing this versus the bore sighter. And I got to tell you, when it comes to the accuracy of those bore sighters, they are actually really, really accurate. I ended up with the laser beam only a very small titch off the center to the left, and of course it was sitting on the top of the blade where it should be, okay, for height. And it was like the gun is hitting really almost dead bang on, so I'd say that's a pretty decent lineup and just me doing it by eye. But I am going to try the bore sighter, you know, right off the hop with a scope and dial the scope in and then shoot the gun and see what that bore sighter actually does and how close it can actually get a gun without me doing anything first myself. So that'll be really interesting and fun to pull that experiment off and see. But anyways, thanks again. If you're not subbed, smash that button. Smash the bell while you're at it to get notifications for updates to my channel. And hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.